What's up, everybody? Today we're talking about the 8 best things about the Finger Lakes. Let's go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Anthony. It's my partner Avery, and we are American Home Team. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell so you're notified every single time that we release a new video.
That's right, and we are licensed realtors here in the state of New York, so that means as much as we love making these videos for you guys about all things Finger Lakes, we'd love even more to help you make a smooth move to the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York. So that phone number and email popping up on your screen, we are the guys that answer those calls, texts, emails, DMs, whatever you want to do. Reach out. We are the guys that respond to those. We would love to have a conversation with you and help you make a smooth move to the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York.
Today we're talking about the 8 best things about living in the Finger Lakes.
All right, guys, kicking it off, the Finger Lakes is the #1 wine producing region in all of upstate New York, in all of New York.
All of New York. And guys, I feel like anywhere that you go in the Finger Lakes region, you're driving by or through vineyards, right? You got vineyards on both sides of the road, right? Rolling hills, and you're seeing wineries and all sorts of things. Literally everywhere that you go. When I say everywhere, I mean everywhere that you go.
The Finger Lakes region has over 400 wineries and or vineyards in the region, and which is astronomical. I think the only other place you can find that is maybe Napa Valley in California. You know, it's world renowned. Like the wines that are produced here in the Finger Lakes are all throughout the United States and overseas. So it's cool. Like if you go on Instagram and you type in hashtag Finger Lakes wines or hashtag insert winery name here, right? There's gonna be people from Italy that are tagging that winery, or people from California tagging that winery. We have a ton of wineries in this region, and people visit the Finger Lakes just for those. Yep.
Just to experience the wineries, taste the wine. It's absolutely amazing.
And the views at a lot of the wineries, you really can't beat it. The Cayuga Lake Wine Trail, Keuka Lake Wine Trail, what am I missing? Seneca Lake Wine Trail.
Yeah.
All of the lakes have some sort of wine trail.
Yeah.
And so you can get in your car, or a lot of people do a tour bus for like anniversaries or like a bachelorette party or things like that. Get in a bus, drive from one winery to the other, and you'll be hopping in and out every 15 minutes or so. And you can try whatever winery you want, but make a whole day, make a week out of it. It's a really good time. But #1 was the Finger Lakes has the most wineries in all of New York.
Absolutely. All right, guys, so moving forward, #2 best thing about living in the Finger Lakes is the lake life. Guys, obviously, it's the Finger Lakes. We have 11 lakes here that you get to experience. Go boat tours, ride your own private boat, jet ski, wakeboard,
Fishing.
lakes, what do you call it?
Skate.
Water ski.
Yeah.
Wake skate. Yeah, ice fishing, fishing.
There's a lot to do with the lakes. Everything that encompasses lake life is really what makes the Finger Lakes the Finger Lakes. And a lot of these lakes are family friendly.
Yeah.
A lot of them have beaches, or like really small beaches, but you can, like Kershaw Park and Canandaigua Lake, or there's
Basically, where you can walk out, like a sandbar type thing, where you can walk out into the water.
Yep.
You can be maybe waist deep, chest deep, and you can touch the ground, and you can just sit there and relax on a nice hot day.
But bring the kiddos, bring the dogs, and have a picnic, get lunch at one of the restaurants nearby, because there's a ton of restaurants around all of the lakes, and it just makes for an incredible day, incredible week, incredible vacation. Obviously, you're not going to want to be on the lake in the wintertime unless you're an ice fisher or like a snowmobiler or something like that, but it makes it really, really fun to go out and experience those lakes.
Absolutely, and that brings us to #3, which is the Finger Lakes region invites tourism. The last study that we've seen done or conducted was back in 2018, and this region brought 5.56 million people in tourism for tourism purposes.
Yep.
And so if you're coming here on vacation, you can Airbnb or stay in a hotel or something like that. Go out to the lakes, go out to the wineries, breweries, really do whatever you want. And but there's tons of tourism here.
We were talking to a business owner the other day, and he was asking, is the Finger Lakes a good area to start a business, to start like a souvenir shop or
like a novelty shop?
Yeah, or anything like that. And the answer we gave him was abso-freaking-lutely, because there's so much tourism here. There's a lot of people that come here to visit, whether it's like Ithaca College or Cornell, they're visiting their kids at college, or they're just coming for the wine tasting experience or just a Airbnb. In fact, there's a lot of people like from Rochester or even within the Finger Lakes that just want a staycation, so they get an Airbnb on a different lake.
Yep.
And they stay at the Airbnb with some nice views next to a winery. They go drink, but they go back to the Airbnb because they just don't feel like going home that weekend.
Or what they'll do is they'll book like a little trail, right? Where it's a series of events. They'll book an Airbnb on Canandaigua Lake, book an Airbnb on Seneca Lake, and then on Keuka, and then, moving down the line.
Yeah, and make a week of it.
And make a week of it, one night in Canandaigua, one night in Seneca, and, going forward.
And that brings us to the next one, which is all of the things to do here in the Finger Lakes, whether it be hiking, camping, boating. There's so much to do. There's so many state campgrounds or state parks, like Robert H. Treeman, Watkins Glen State Park,
Keuka State Park. There's all there's literally on every single lake, there's multiple state parks that you can go to and camp at.
Yep.
And so what people like to do is just like the wine tours that they do or the Airbnb kind of tours that they do, they'll book little stays at each campground throughout the lakes and just go hang out at each campground. There's different things to do at each one, different experiences, so they like to go and experience all of that.
Yep.
And it just creates a really unique kind of staycation, if you will, or camp trip, if you will. And you can go hiking through waterfalls and gorges and all sorts of cool things here that the landscape offers.
And Anthony had mentioned the fall foliage and the colors and whatnot. So a lot of people will go on these trails, hike these trails just so that they can see the colors. Yep. And they're not treacherous, right? We're not in like a super steep area or anything. A lot of this is just, the lakes were made from glaciers way back in the day. And so there's these valleys and people will hike up them just so that they can look at the trees, look at the waterfalls, look at the gorges. There are areas like in Ononda, for example, or I'm pretty sure even Watkins Glen has it too, but these shale-formed slides.
Yep.
And the kids will go in their swim trunks and they'll go down this, it's a natural-made slide, and they'll go down into a swimming hole. And it just makes a really good time for the family to go hang out with friends, bring a couple drinks, go hike the trail, do your thing. But all of that, there's just so much to do, and it makes for a great experience here in the Finger Lakes.
100%. All right, so guys, moving on, just to touch upon this one here, this next one, we've talked about it a lot in many of our other videos here, but the Finger Lakes is relatively, it has a low cost of living here.
Yeah.
We're just about 6% less than the national average here in the Finger Lakes.
Yeah, and if you want to learn more about the low cost of living here in the Finger Lakes, tune into this video right there.
Somewhere here.
Yep, and you can learn a little bit more, but generally speaking, Finger Lakes is 6% lower cost of living than the national average.
Yep.
And so moving on to number 6 of the best things about the Finger Lakes is all of the festivals in the Finger Lakes region.
Guys, there are tons. I think almost every single town that borders a lake out here, and even the ones in between, host their own little festival or carnival or something like that. You've got the county fairs, right? But then you have, for example, the Naples Grape Festival, which, by the way, if you haven't had a grape pie, you need to have a grape pie.
Yeah.
You need to get out to this area, Naples particularly, and have a grape pie. They're amazing.
Yeah, Monica's has a very, very good grape pie. They're closed. They were closed this past year. I'm pretty sure they're going to be opening again, but we'll keep you guys tuned in on that one. But regarding the festivals and the things to do, really, Naples Grape Fest.
Yep.
In Naples. Ithaca has a ton of arts festivals.
Yep.
Because it's kind of like an artsy city.
As well as Canandaigua.
Canandaigua.
Yep.
There is the Fairport Canal Days, right, that we've touched on in our Fairport video. Yep. There's tons of little festivals and stuff that go on in Rochester. There's the county fairs, that Ontario County Fair, Wayne County Fair. Wayne County just implemented the Wayne County Country Music Festival. Yep. As well, which is a really, really good time. This year was the first one. I went to it. Lee Bryce played, and it was awesome. But a lot of these towns and counties out here in the Finger Lakes, they do host their own version of a festival. Yep. And they'll have rides, cotton candy, funnel cakes, you name it.
It's really just a great time for whole family fun. Yep. Right? And go out with the family, enjoy yourselves, be safe while doing it, and enjoy your time with other people also having fun.
It's literally like in that scene in The Notebook where they're at the festival, right? They're at the festival and you have the rides and stuff. That's literally what it's like here in the Finger Lakes with all of the festivals that we have.
All right, so moving on to number 7, guys. The Finger Lakes region has a super simple and super, I guess, fast integration with the city of Rochester.
Yep.
The city of Rochester is actually a very small city compared to, you know, what you would picture, say, New York City or Denver, Colorado, or Tampa, Florida, or some of these other major cities, right? It is actually what, in size, right? Or an area.
Yeah, it's not even in the top 150 of the largest cities in the U.S.
But it's very populated.
Yeah, population-wise, it's 111 in all of the cities in the United States. So there's a lot of people jammed into a very small area. But the Rochester beer market, there's like the food market, there's so much in Rochester that is derived from the Finger Lakes region. And because it's such a short drive, it's only 30 minutes from us, it's really 40 minutes or 50 minutes, really within an hour from anywhere in the Finger Lakes, you can get to Rochester. And they intentionally integrate pretty much everything that they do with the Finger Lakes region.
Yeah, and a lot of the business owners you'll see are kind of crossed over, right? Yep. They have a business in the Finger Lakes and then they bring that business to Rochester.
Yep.
Hence the beer markets, things like that.
Yeah.
What I personally and what a lot of people who live in the Finger Lakes not love but don't mind about Rochester is that because it is such a small area, right? The city, you can get through the city in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You're right. You're not sitting in traffic for 3 hours like you would New York City or you know, some of these major cities, Chicago or Detroit or something, right?
Yeah.
So it is fairly small. It is still a relatively hometown feel, and it's in such good proximity to the Finger Lakes that a lot of the local business owners, they do reciprocate their business in Rochester and the Finger Lakes.
That's right. All right, moving on. Last but not least, the Finger Lakes is extremely pet friendly.
Yup, guys. With the integration of the breweries and the wineries coming in up here, well, they've already been here, but everybody has got pets, and those pets are allowed at most of the breweries, wineries. You can go to a brewery, sit there, have a beer, and have your dog right next to you, right? And it's just, it creates a really good home feel type atmosphere.
And if you're vacationing here, it's nice because you don't have to necessarily board your dog if you want to go wine tasting, right? A lot of people don't want to leave their pets at like an Airbnb or a vacation rental. So they either want to bring them or they want to board them. And so you don't need to board your dog. You can bring your dog to pretty much everywhere you want to go. I mean, even Wegmans. You can go into Wegmans with your dogs. Like I see people walk into Wegmans with their dogs. I think it's few and far between.
Might get a couple weird looks.
But you are allowed to pretty much everywhere you go. And most storefront owners, like some of these mom and pop shops, appreciate you bringing your dog in because they want something to pet. They want, you know, they want that dog life into their store.
If you go to restaurants around here, say a drive-through, right? They're gonna have treats for your pets, and then also all the ice cream shops surrounding the lakes will have a doggy cone or a doggy bowl or something like that, and water bowls throughout all the stores on main streets. And
they'll leave it outside for the dogs. And I don't know if other states do this or other areas do this, but my mailman or mailwoman, I have two, actually leave us dog treats in our mailbox for our 2 dogs. I have 2 golden retrievers, and our mail people know that we have 2 dogs, so they leave dog treats. So I don't know if they do that in other areas of the U.S. You guys can drop us a comment and let us know. But Finger Lakes region is super dog friendly, and Rochester really is too.
Yep.
Super dog friendly. Now, there might be restrictions at some places, like New York State has some restrictions for restaurants. So if you're eating inside at a restaurant, you can't have your dog. Some places you can't have your dog inside, but you can go to the outdoor seating and have your dog out there and eat. But some restaurants will have restrictions for indoor dining.
Yep, and a lot of the rentals around here, a lot of the apartment complexes, if you will, usually they're really great with allowing multiple dogs or pets in the apartment.
For a fee.
For a fee, an additional fee, yes, like a cleaning fee or something like that. But you are allowed most pets. There might just be certain breed restrictions depending on the apartment complex.
Yep. And most of the newer complexes have dog parks.
Yep. A lot of them, yeah.
I don't know of many dog parks around the area because we are so like pet friendly and we have spacious yards and whatnot. I don't know of a ton of dog parks. There are a few that I know of. Canandaigua, in fact, just put one in right on Buffalo Street. But throughout the area, you know, we can do some research on the dog parks and stuff, and you can too. But you find that you really don't need them because there's so much green space around here. You find you don't really need a dog park unless you just want to let them loose. But the dogs are allowed in the lakes as well.
Yep.
Like a lot of the state parks will have a swimming hole for the dogs.
Yep. And where we might lack actual dog parks, we have no shortage of parks that allow dogs.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, you know, you might just not have a fenced in area, but as long as your dog is well trained or something, you could play fetch or whatever. To touch on boarding and pet resorts though, actually right here in Farmington, you have locally recognized, I guess, it's the top pet resort in the Finger Lakes. You know, Finger Lakes Pet Resort it's called. But then you have Paws and Claws, and you have Off-Leash Canine, which is actually an amazing dog or pet training facility. In fact, Ryan Reynolds, if you know who he is, I'm sure a lot of people know who he is.
He's an actor.
Yeah, thank you, yeah. He brought his dog to be trained by Off-Leash Canine. There's other celebrities as well that their dogs get trained by Off-Leash Canine. World renowned. So there's amazing pet resorts here that if you're going on vacation and you have to leave your fur babies at home, there's plenty of places that you can feel safe to leave them and trust them with
Send
your
you
dog.
pictures, let you tune into the live
they have
camera.
live streams so you can see if your dog's getting bullied or if your dog is bullying another dog or just, you know, see what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So guys, that was the 8 best things about the Finger Lakes, and we hope you enjoyed that video. Finger Lakes is a phenomenal place to live. It's a phenomenal place to work and to vacation. So whether you're looking to buy a house here or move here or just vacation here, reach out to the phone number, reach out to the email address. We would love to host you guys. We'd love to get a beer, some wine with you, have some lunch with you. We're extremely grateful that you guys are considering the Finger Lakes, whether it is to vacation or just to move or whatever. So feel free to reach out anytime. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you're notified every Tuesday and Thursday that we drop a new video.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you on the next one.
See ya.
Bye.